Stray Kids, blah blah blah.
Right.
Good day.
Greetings. How are we doing today?
Hungry.
Yeah.
We're still here. We're still in person.
Yeah.
We're still 4 guys, and we're still going to be talking about an album.
Yeah, we're still talking about.
What about the episode that we do more than one album? What are we gonna call it then?
Well, that's a big hurdle.
Guys, half the guys make album.
Jesus.
We're not making an album. I'd love to make an album. Oh. New music coming soon.
Yeah. It's all good, bruh.
Aye.
It's took us long.
Go follow Antidote To Chaos everywhere. We have music coming.
Watch this space.
Are we one of those bands?
Oh god.
If you're interested in Oasis,
Hey guys.
you'll like
We're from the same
Do
city.
you like K-pop? Well, you're gonna love Antidote To Chaos.
But first, we have a fan question.
We have a
we do,
fan
we do.
question on Instagram.
from none other than our number 1 top fan. Sorry. Bear with me.
We love him so much that we don't know his name.
Messages, not notifications. From our number 1 top fan, Chevelin _.
Chevelin _
Cheers, bro. Love you.
We love you.
Who's Chevelin _?
I don't know, he looks like... I mean, have you seen his profile?
He's our
I mean,
top
look at that.
fan.
Oh god, he does fencing.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Jesus.
Ugh.
We love you, bro.
Why are we friends with him again?
Anyway.
I miss you, Chev. Please
We
come
miss
back.
you. We love you.
Please come back.
What does he say?
What does the Chevrolet say?
So, his question is, who will get married first? Kieran and Noah, or Josh and Jack?
Wait, what?
Josh and Jack.
Wait.
Who will get married first? As in you two, or us two, or all of us in a big polyamorous mess?
I feel like me and Kieran are already living together.
Yeah, they're
which
already.
kind of like...
But we have already lived together.
We have
Oh,
already- yeah.
Wait, you lived together and then didn't live together anymore.
So you've already been divorced.
They-
So we
divorced.
married and then we divorced.
And it was really sad at that
Is that genuinely how he means the question? Or
I
is he
think so,
asking like
yeah.
who's gonna get
Yeah,
married
which
first?
is as
Read it if
in.
you want. Who will get married
wait.
first?
So
Kieran and Noah.
are you two gonna marry each other,
Right,
Or
or are
are
you
we,
gonna
or
marry
us
each
two, or are we all gonna marry the 4 of
Well,
us?
the way are these reviews going? I feel like you two are gonna marry each other, and me and him are gonna marry each other.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah,
To be fair, why?
Weezer
that
will be
wasn't-
playing at the
We
wedding.
still will be playing at the wedding.
I'm fine with this. I'm cool with this.
My dad told me always choose option C, so I'm happy with that.
Why did he say option C? What does he mean?
Because you got 2 options, so you pick the 3rd one.
But you only have 2 options.
No, yeah, you go out the box, you pick the 3rd one.
What if
Option
there isn't
C,
a third option? What if it's true or false? Option C.
Through.
somewhere in between.
Through or false?
Yes.
I was. Jesus.
Shane, what a terrible question. What a terrible question.
Thank
Even
you.
when you're not even here, you just ruin.
You
my
ruin
day.
everything.
You just ruin everything. Oh my god! Wow! I can't believe that just happened. What?
What?
I don't know. Guys, I think I just. had
Thank
a
you for the
schizophrenic
question,
episode.
Chef, and anyone else who wants to ask questions. We're free all till the next step.
If you wondering
So-
about that weird cut, it's only because we haven't seen him in a long time, and we may have just went on a massive tangent.
The cat ran in front of the screen again.
We love him very much.
We did.
Yes.
Milo.
So as this is 4 guys 1 album, should we get to the album?
Okay.
No, that's it. We're talking
Album.
about Chef's no.
Noah. This week it's yours.
Hey, it's your boy Noah. What are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about. Oh my god.
Sorry,
you alright?
I did just like.
The lime Doritos are currently crawling their way back up. So, today's album I've picked is one that probably gonna go down a bit not too well with this band. I hope it goes down well because we're not defaming. By the way, hi YouTube reviews. We're not defaming currently. Please don't sue us. We're talking about Stray Kids and the K-pop industry. So,
Gets up, leaves.
this album
It's
is
called
I Am Who by Stray Kids. Now, I got introduced this album by a girl.
That's usually how it happens, isn't it? Really.
You know,
Yeah.
That's usually
Yeah.
how
I mean, to be fair, I listened to it and I was like, you know what? This actually slaps. This actually sounds really, really good. And I feel like I didn't, because as somebody who doesn't really regularly listen to K-pop or anything at all, I had no idea what I was in for anyway. I went in and I was surprised. I was literally just there like, you know what? This isn't as bad. I was just expecting some sort of like mad, you know, whatever. Just, oh yeah, this, whatever. You know, sort of like what modern pop is.
Okay.
But just Korean K-pop. You know, 2 and 2 together with that one.
West K-pop singing.
Yeah.
But it's like, it kind of is that, but it's not in the way that you expect it to be. It's sort of, it catches you off a little bit, I think, and I found it really, really charming to an extent. Like, I mean, this album especially, like, okay, because obviously K-pop is an industry, the production for it is insane. It is absolutely insane. Probably a little bit overcooked in places, but again, that is the industry. That's just how it is. But it's like, yeah, you can kind of tell, again, due to like how the industry is, how this album was sort of structured. You know, it's about 21 minutes, I think, 20-ish minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's about 7 songs on it. It's very designed to just, here's music, put it out there, here we go. That's just how it is. It is like a pop industry, but I feel like there's a lot more to it. Maybe it's just because I've not listened to this kind of thing before that I'm finding it interesting.
It feels like it's like a brand, like the music is
It's
just
like-
made to be consumed.
I was never really into pop, and this kind of felt like a breath of fresh air on pop.
From on the
That-
pop
you get
side
me?
of
That's
things.
fair. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I think like one of the band members of Stray Kids is their producer as well. I think he's called Banchan, and yeah, he's just like, again, listening to how it is, like, this is why I kind of want to create a little bit of a separation between the K-pop industry and Stray Kids, because even though they are part of it, they're a lot more in control with it than others. Say, you know, like BTS, for example, or I don't know, Blackpink, I think
You
they're
could
called.
say
somewhat
they stray.
You have to go.
That's
and
not
do it.
defamation. Don't sue us, please.
That's a compliment.
That's a compliment.
I'm actually
yeah,
out,
yeah.
lads. I'm out. No, it's just,
But yeah, it's like, I was listening to all of this. I was listening to everything. Every song sounds like, I don't like. There's no song that sounds the same. I would argue. I don't think it sounds like, obviously, with like the vocal styles and things, maybe a little bit, but I don't think it properly. So you listen to every song. Insomnia, I think
your
is really
face
good.
then. I'm sorry. Your face then. As soon as you went, everything sounds the same. You two. I wasn't involved in this at all. You two just went.
Oh, I mean, I can see why you'd think it would sound the same, but I think production-wise, I'd argue that it does. I'd argue.
I'm with you on this one, to be honest.
I'd argue
Not
like
gonna
it's
lie.
Insomnia, exceptional, like almost like sort of lo-fi to start with, and then just sort of goes into this massive chorus.
There's just a lot of bangers.
Yeah, there's a That's
It is.
all there is
At
to
the end
it.
of the day, you have to look at it is a pop album.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's some enjoyable pop tunes. But like, you know, there's nothing wrong with liking pop music. It's
Exactly.
just the way I've always seen pop music, because I'm not a big fan of like chart music, because I'm generally
Yeah.
like it's
Oh.
something
Yeah,
that's
no.
really easily consumable, because that's just what the music industry has become. But like, you can still have good pop music. Like pop just means like popular, like accessible. Like it's you can still have good pop music. Like there's good parts of every genre, just how there's bad parts of every genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I think at the end of the day, there is some good pop tunes here. There's also some tunes I don't really care for.
Yeah,
but like,
this-
at the end
I
of the-
do agree. I do agree with that. I think there's some tunes that, like, you know, there are definitely some tunes that shine above the
Yeah.
others. Like, I think Voices is exceptional. I think is
gonna get the track list
it
together.
My Pace? I think the second song in, also very, very good. Insomnia is probably my favorite off the album. Like, yeah, there's a lot of songs in the Question. How could I forget Question?
Question's
Question
a
is
banger.
really good as well. Like, there's just a lot of bangers. I just
Pace.
found myself really enjoying it. I literally just listened to it and I was like, I really enjoy this. Like, all of the band members sound good. Felix, the low end singer.
It's quite
exceptional.
short, but
It's short.
It is very.
I said
it's
it
only-
in a podcast we did recently. I think it was when we talked about Bill Murray. It was the first one. I don't mind short albums at all.
Yeah.
Like,
It's-
I
again,
love.
I did think when you sent this over to us and I saw that it was 20 minutes long, that's what I thought of, and I guess in a way when I was listening to it, I was sort of comparing it, not in terms of music, but in terms of like how it's structured, and that's why I think like one of the problems I had with the album, like I enjoyed, you know, that it's enjoyable enough. There's some good melodies and stuff.
There is.
It's quite catchy.
In some
But I-
places.
but I don't think. But unlike
That's not defamation. Don't sue us, please.
I think that.
Disclaimer.
I think there could have been a bit more distinction between the songs stylistically. Like, if you listen to Egg Pocket by Bill Murray, you've got every instrument under the sun there. There's a lot in the space of 20 minutes.
Yeah, I agree with that. To be fair,
I think again, if we're talking about like length of the album and stuff, again, like that's an industry issue as opposed to like an actual band issue. But
see, I don't know.
I don't
a lot
even,
of K-pop
to be
albums
honest,
this long.
To be honest, I don't even.
I think so.
I think,
I'm not too sure, to be completely honest.
I was going to say as well, like the length of the album is a bit. I don't feel like that's really the best talking point, because basically
I feel like you have a lot of opinions on this album.
I do, because off the bat, I don't like it. Right?
Okay.
Oh.
Off the bat, it's not.
No, because this is the weird thing, because obviously you look at it, and there was only 2 tracks I liked, and it was the first one, Who, I Am Who, or just Who,
Who,
and Voices. Those were the only 2 I liked, and then I also thought, isn't it funny how those are the only 2 songs what show kind of more of a Western poppy vibe?
Maybe that's just because
you know what
that's
I mean?
how you're climatized to listen. You know.
This is what I was thinking. Like, in terms of like Western culture, pop music, it's obviously extremely different to Korean music, and then also the fact that it's, I think maybe a little bit of English is in.
There's always an odd line.
There's an odd line, and then also
usually back.
But to me, if I can't understand lyrics when someone's singing, I'm like, I can appreciate the production.
I found
and I can appreciate, let's say, the emotion in like the chorus of Voices. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a really good belt. I can see what he's doing, and I can kind of understand what the song means.
Just to play devil's advocate a bit here, what are your thoughts on Rammstein?
Because that's all in German.
Because that's all in German.
I think it depends though, because
same thing. Like, so like, what's the main single? Like, is it Du Hast? That's the only one I've ever heard, and I'd put that into the same window of like Voices, if you get me.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I think it depends on the context though, because some songs like matter, the lyrics matter more, but when it's the things with Du Hast, it's a metal like single. It's a stadium rock anthem. Like, it's a
there's so little words.
Yeah, it's not about the word. It's not about the lyrics.
I could
that anyone can sing along to it.
To flip it though, because obviously as I'm like looking at this, going, I'm not really too keen. I'm looking at like 56 million streams on Spotify. Do you know what I mean? You're like.
Yeah, there's definitely a market.
There's always a market.
Yeah, there's always a market.
Yeah,
100%.
Have you seen BTS's stream numbers?
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? It's actually mental.
It's
so I genuinely think I just don't like it because of, just that cultural difference, really. You know what I mean? That's Western market to like.
I guess
the K-pop market,
if you're not used to it, like, I mean, I'd argue that I'm not really used to it, but I've been introduced to it enough to think I actually quite like this, if you get me. Like,
but this is it. I've been introduced to it like loads of times since like secondary school, and every time I'm just like, there's never been anything more.
I guess there is a wall. There is a wall to get into it. I mean, there's a
wall with getting into anything new, but it's just one I've never been able to cross.
I think
I don't really mind it
because it's a case of it's just not for you. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like,
sometimes I mean, I'm kind of coming from the sense of, like I just said before, like, there's, in my opinion, there's good things with like every genre, and as someone who's like a fan of like anime and stuff in that culture anyway, like I don't find it that hard to like get into something that's in a different language.
No.
I don't know. Obviously, that's just my experience.
I think I'm the same, especially because I grew up on a lot of things that came from, say, Japan. Like, I was more of like a Nintendo game. Like a PS3 or Xbox or whatever.
I think it's mad how much Japan's influence has come over here, considering it's like
it's
like,
I think it's important to realise that Japan and Korea.
It
was just because he was on
right. Okay, yeah. I was just like, don't mix those up.
No. Just clarify. It was more sort of like the difference between like Western and Eastern culture.
Yeah.
Is more generalised.
It's quite interesting though how it is, like, because if you think about the Western market at the moment, I'd say for pop music, it's like those dark beats, those dark like undertones in the mix kind of thing, in terms of production. Whereas like all of like especially all of that album, it's like quite
it's quite pop. I feel like a lot of what's popular in a moment in our charts is a lot of like trap. And
yeah,
like,
trap.
A lot of trap, a lot of grime.
I think there's quite a bit. There's a few elements of that in this. There's quite a few like trap beats in that, and part of me thought that like if you took away sort of the charm you get in K-pop, would I have still liked it? If it was that, but more just like a
pop, like a Western pop tune.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I would have.
Yeah,
which is
that kind of deciding factor.
Yeah.
Because as well, even if I'd like as an album, I know it's a short one, Bill Murray's short, and so you'd be looking at this as like a quick hit, like Bill Murray was a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, the two songs, like I said, what stood out were Who and Voices. All of the other ones was just a bit like, you know what you said with AWOL Nation, where you're like, I just have no response to this. It was like that, and then I kind of, as well, last tracks on albums are a big thing for me. And the last track for this was just, I just was like, it's...
Was that awkward?
You know?
It's like like, you know...
Awkward silence?
Or something,
I just didn't feel anything. The only time I ever felt something was the first track and then Voices, and I was just a bit like, right, well, I can appreciate that it's obviously very popular, because you look at the streams and every song on that album is
in the
50 million streams. So I was like, okay, but I think at the end of the day it's just not for me, and it's obviously I'm gonna try and look at it objectively musically as best as I can. I
guess you've got a smaller set of factors that you can score on, because you know you're not.
It just doesn't resonate with me. So I just kind of, in a weird way, it's like.
See, I feel like I could argue the opposite. I feel like musically this album is really, really good. I think
musically, like in terms of the actual.
In terms of like the instrumentation.
I was going to say instrumentally,
production-wise, I'd argue that it's really, really good in terms of like sort of showing off.
I feel like it's an interesting aspect, a side of the pop genre.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't necessarily hear if I listen to like the new. I don't know who's a popular. Pop-up. If I listen to the new Dua Lipa album, for example, it's you know, it like that's probably like a massive pop.
She
album
just won 2 Brits actually, didn't she?
But the Brits are crap.
Actually,
the Brits are absolutely awful.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but like you know, the stuff that in this that you know you wouldn't see in that, even though that's a massive pop album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's a different side to the genre, and you know some of it I liked and some of it I didn't like, but you know it's just the way it is with most things, I guess. I don't know. At the end of the day, I liked like a lot of the songs, but I didn't think that this album was like amazing or anything like that.
I would clarify though as well, like if kind of the same kind of style of album came out over here, you'd
feel the same.
I'd feel the same. Yeah. You know, this kind of pop artist does an album, and then you look at the album and it is just hashtags of the same pop and the same you know, I know not the same chords, that's a bad example, because obviously they go ham on the kind of music variation in the songs, but you know when you just like, you know when you go open up Spotify and you go on an album and you already know everything you're getting before you even, you know, like
it's like
nothing surprises.
The way I kind of see pop music sometimes, it's kind of like you're seeing a Fast and Furious movie.
Like, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
there are good parts. But generally, you know that there's going to be a car chase. There's going to be an emotional plot.
It's kind of,
and there's going to be.
It's kind of
you know what I mean?
And there might be a big bulky dude in the picture of the music video.
But see, I don't know. I don't know if this is that predictable though.
I wouldn't. That's the thing. That's why I actually quite liked about. I wouldn't put it in the same bracket as that.
Yeah.
But that's generally that's just how I see like when I go into a pop album.
Yeah.
It's kind of the mindset I have going into it of. Sometimes when I hear a good pop album, I'm like, it's generally because I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't expect that to actually be like, you know, good.
It's one of, I get what you're saying, where you're like, it's definitely obviously more musically advanced than in terms of production and in terms of songwriting than what we have over here.
I'd argue much more.
Yeah, but definitely it's like quadruple more. But to me, I think it's just because it still falls under that same kind of produced to hell bracket.
Yeah.
And it's like...
The production is essentially another instrument.
Yeah.
It's not like in like metal or rock where production is just to blend everything together. The production is its own thing.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
It's like it feels like a fifth instrument.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it actually.
Yeah, that's actually a very nice way of putting it.
And on that well-rounded point,
Is there
should
any other
score
points?
go to the score.
I think that's it.
I think we all saw
That was a good debate. That I actually really.
I thought that was
I think
good.
it's
I think that was
Intellectual lads.
very on point.
Mwah.
I feel like we're absolutely going to get hounded.
Yeah.
Please don't sue us. Please don't sue us. We've done nothing.
I
like the album. Sue them, not me.
I'll start. So yeah, no, I really appreciate what. Sorry, my mind just went blank. I don't know.
He's
Very far.
I really
I don't-
appreciate
okay,
Korea.
no.
But
No. I
However.
do no.
Sorry.
I didn't dislike this album. It was an enjoyable enough listen, but there wasn't really anything that made me go, "Oh wow," or it was just a nice listen. I'm not sure if I would go back to it again. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
Shall I go next? Right. Okay. I was really pleasantly surprised by this. Again, like production and everything's like really, really good. Again, I'd argue in some places a little bit overcooked, but that just kind of comes with the nature of the industry. I think like in terms of like cons and things, the only thing that I could sort of think was, at least for me personally, was I don't see it as something that I'd actively re-listen to, or at least not right away. I'd probably like say give it like a few weeks or whatever, see it on my Spotify and think, oh yeah, okay, and then re-listen to it and be like, yeah, this is sick. You know what I'm like? Yeah. So I think for that, and just how like taken aback I was with just how it was in general, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
it's like that kind of like variation in your
you gave it a
Spotify.
five?
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of like, I kind of went into it like, how do I put this? Looking at it as comparing it to other pop albums, there were parts of it that I enjoyed, and there were songs that I objectively were like, that's a good song, that's a well-produced song, I like that, like, you know, that it kind of slams. But there were songs that I just found a bit forgettable, and when an album is only 20 minutes, like, you can't really afford to have forgettable songs.
Yeah.
I think that's fair enough.
But there are parts where I liked it. I did like the production. I thought it was like, alright overall, and like, in terms of my actual enjoyment, I had an alright time, so I gave it a 6.
You're a 6.
I gave it a 6, yeah. Same as Van Weezer.
Jeez.
I've given most of the albums reviewed on here a 6 or a 7. Like, I'm very boring.
Well,
Wait, hold on, what do you want? 5, 8,
Yeah.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we're wrong.
okay.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh, what? Right. Okay. I was right. So I can, Noah swayed me a bit because originally I was gonna like this as a 3. Like originally.
Oh my god! I wouldn't have gone that fucking
would've.
low.
That's-
Jesus.
No one has pushed me up to a 4.
Just because to me, like I know it's gone viral, but to me it was like a 3, because we're reviewing it like that. But then I was a bit like, he said the whole, how it is still musically kind of got one over like our pop industry as well, and it's much more technically advanced and everything. But at the same time, it's like no one's gonna remember it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna. There were 7 tracks. I'm gonna take my score 3 off 7. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Well, that brings it to a grand total of 23 out of 40.
23.
On par with Dead Trees.
Oh no!
Wounded.
Please do not sue us.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's still
That's
above.
over 50%.
That's
Yeah.
over 50%. Exactly.
That is over 50%.
Van Weezer didn't get over 50%.
Exactly.
There you go.
You're already
Yeah.
winning. You're winning.
Why do I feel like there's going to be like a Korean version of this podcast made now, and they're going to rate our like possible
They're gonna
future releases?
Shit on our
Yeah,
albums.
absolutely. They were alright, but they did shit on Stray Kids that time. So,
So-
for that, giving it a
1.
3.
Just one.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So, have you listened to this album? Let us know what you think in the comments.
Definitely give it a listen and let us know.
I think I know somebody that's going to heavily disagree with some of the scores. Today.
We're so sorry.
I'm not.
Thank Thanks for watching, guys.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Have a good night.
See ya, and thank you, Chevlin_. Bye.
Love you, Chef.
Have fun.
Join the Discord. And Facebook. And the Instagram. Join it all.
Everything else. Pornhub.
And we're done.
Right, we're done.
Hey,
We're done.
Happy day.
Beautiful. No.
I got a little peek.
Me,
Got a little peek.
curly one. One more.
It reminds
Beautiful.
It reminds me of a YouTuber, I'm Wildcat, when he basically, his avatar on Gmod was always a Doritos bag, and every time he'd run in game, he'd make sure he'd have like a crisp bag next to him, and he'd ruffle it into the mic, so every time they were recording, every time he ran, it just sounded like a crisp packet running. Fucking hilarious.